What is a racist? At a time when some people are saying even the snow-capped Rockies are racist, there are a lot of definitions going around, and one of the theories that people are dealing with is critical race theory. I didn't know what it was. I think I know now, but Jonathan Kay, who is a columnist for the National Post, an American lawyer, a Canadian, and studied critical race theory at Yale, joins me right now because I want you to tell me, what is critical race theory, Jonathan?
At the time I studied it, this was in the late 1990s at law school, as part of my legal education. It was, to summarize briefly, the idea that racist structures are embedded in all parts of society, especially the law and in policymaking, even in ways that we don't explicitly recognize. So a law can be racist and can have racist effect, even if you look at it and it has no ostensible racist aspect.
So really embedded systemic racism in the culture and the law, but some people are taking that now, in the times when they're looking under every rock to see racism, and saying that they have to overturn virtually everything in the culture, in the law, in the history of the United States.
Look, the original idea behind critical race theory is certainly not extreme or crazy. Drug laws, for instance, is an example of something that looks neutral. It doesn't say in the law, this is to throw blacks in jail, but the effect of it, and maybe even the intention of it, in some cases.
In some cases, it was the intention.
Yeah, well, the idea of like crack cocaine, you get this sentence, and powder cocaine, you get this, and a lot of people said that's racist, and even if it doesn't mention race, it's racist. The problem I think a lot of people would identify now is that if you extrapolate that to the idea that every single aspect of our society is just suffused with racism, it's like some kind of poison gas, you imagine society as this kind of racist dystopia where no one has good intentions, everything's racist, and racialized people themselves, to use a popular expression, they have this defeatist attitude where they're encouraged to see racism everywhere. And some parts of society are racist, but I'm not sure it's a positive thing to encourage them to see all parts of society as racist.
No, we can't destroy everything that's been made in society in the name of destroying racism.
Well, I mean, there are some parts of our society, obviously, over the generations, we have overturned. Obviously, we no longer have slavery. We no longer have separate but equal in the United States.
That's in the United States.
Canada, yeah,
we haven't had slavery in Ontario for 2.5 centuries.
I mean, we have human rights commissions, which we didn't have a century ago. Like, there are things that change. However, the idea that every aspect of our society, from our geography to our architecture to the way we admit people in schools and granting degrees, and the very idea of formal education, these theories can get pretty ambitious, and pretty soon you're left with nothing.
You would say ambitious. Yeah. Others would say, after hearing what they apply to, ridiculous.
It can be nihilistic, because especially since a lot of people who aren't white come to this country precisely because they want the thing, capitalism, all the things that are now labeled as racist, that's kind of what they want.
Jonathan Kay, very well said. Thank you. 3 minutes. Our Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, recently stood up in the House of Commons and prefaced his remarks by saying, "And we will only work from the facts," quote, unquote, and then proceeded to lie by saying Britain was in a horrible, horrible third wave, trying to show, in fact, that Canada was not the worst in the world. Britain, though, had vaccines. Canada did not. And this was not reported in the mainstream Canadian media, the media paid for by Justin Trudeau. All of which, I'm telling you, is that it's important to have this 3-minute interview. Please subscribe, ask your friends to subscribe, and press that PayPal thing so we can continue on to bring you the news you otherwise might not know.